Danny, I want to applaud you for becoming one of the biggest Democratic donors.
Thank you.
In the history of the world.
I got Joe Biden reelected. I didn't know that at the time.
Danny is now responsible for thousands upon thousands. He doesn't want to release the number. Release the returns.
Release the numbers.
Danny doesn't want to release the numbers. What would it take for you to release the numbers of how much you lost in FTX?
Nothing.
You would not do it. You're taking those numbers to the grave. Is it because it's an embarrassing amount?
Yes.
Like is it because you don't want people to know what kind of money you were playing with, or are you like embarrassed of the figure?
Just everything. It's such a mess.
Does anyone know that number? Have you told one single person what the number is? Who?
My girlfriend.
That's the only person that knows. Yeah, but you told her for functional reasons, probably, right? She's like, why don't we go on this vacation?
I go, hey, Hanukkah's been canceled, bitch.
There's definitely utility in telling her. That's how you collect some of it back.
Yeah. Nah, unfortunately, no. But.
That's how I bring up my losses quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, bringing up those numbers is a good way to buy you buy your way back out of having to pay for things here and there.
It's like, you're really supersizing that, huh? I don't know. Did you see how much money I lost?
I don't know if you saw how much money I lost on FTX.
Really, we're going supersize the whole thing. Not even just the drink, fries and the drink.
Okay, so Janny's gonna do a quick synopsis of the funniest parts. To me, the funniest parts.
Oh, I mean, it's so insane. It's I don't even know where to begin.
Well, I would begin with.
I mean, I will say shout out.
Polygamy is the funniest.
The polygamy is the funniest. The fact that there's a bunch of dweebs who are like all Adderalled up. They were on these special Adderall patches called MSAM that make you. One, it's like they say one of the warnings is because they're like all vegans, and then one of the warnings was that you can't eat certain meats because it'll like react oddly and can kill you with these patches. And then also it makes you hypersexualized, so that explains the orgies.
So these guys are just running around,
just fucking all of them, the chicks, they're all fucking, and then it also makes you higher propensity to take on risk and gamble.
That was an interesting.
That was the one where they go, this patch that they're all on is like literally makes you.
These guys are just running around, all in.
Yeah, but even like, dude, it's such a fast moving thing. Like I'm just reading the stuff that's coming out today. And so the guy who's like the new CEO of FTX was the guy, he's just like, was installed once they went bankrupt to be like, hey, can you just clean this up, get everybody as much money back as they can? And like, but he was the guy
cleanup crew.
He was the cleanup guy for Enron. Like he was the guy who Kenneth Lay got the boot and you go, you're the new CEO.
A lot of the guys in this thing were all like, if you looked into it, this guy had like 40 scams before. Like the one guy was the poker guy.
Well, that was, they're like CFO or they're legal something. Yeah, he was in the ultimate bet poker thing. But anyways, this guy is like, the guy who came in, I think his name's like John Jay or something. But like, he's like the guy, if you go bankrupt, to come in and like fix or clean everything up, I guess, and like get to the bottom of things. And he's just like, it's legit 10 college buddies somehow like backed their way into this multi-billion-dollar company, and they didn't really know what they were doing. Like they're literally like, they don't have really like accounting. There's like no oversight. Like there's literally billions of dollars in just like IOUs. It's like Dumb and Dumber, like with the briefcase. It's just like,
and you're like, dumbest.
I'm the I'm on
Dumber and dumbest.
I'm on one of those fucking IOUs, I guess. But it was crazy, man. They're like, they just have, and he's still like, Sam Bankman-Fried's still tweeting like he can turn this around.
Oh my God.
And then like FTX came out today or yesterday, and they're like, just to be clear, Sam Bankman-Fried is not associated with this company anymore. He stepped down entirely on November 11th. They're like, so he keeps tweeting like he can turn this around. You're like, you're not involved in this company anymore. You are like you are soon to be a like defendant in a criminal complaint from the Department of Justice, but you're like, there's no turning this around, dude. Like this is over.
That's a guy that's still on Adderall though, like walking around. He's
like a psychopath.
But that's him. He just took the Adderall patches, banged one of his ugly wives, and then he's smoking a cigarette, and he was like, "There's still time," and you're just like, you're in a psychosis almost. You know what I mean?
Kind of. Yeah,
that's I've had times where I took too many drugs and you kind of think you have stuff to do that you don't, and you're like, I can do this, and everyone's like, I remember I was telling you, but I remember being like, what I have to do? I have to send these emails out, and then you wait for my job, and you wake up and you're like, what emails? I don't have a job. Like,
yeah,
it was all this.
It was Jessie and Saved by the Bell. Remember when she was on the caffeine pills or whatever, and she's like, I'm so excited, and then she breaks down like that. I don't know. People watch. I don't really remember. People watch Saved by the Bell. That was a classic scene.
But yeah, he's probably just running around, still hopped up on Adderall.
Well, I mean, like the fall, his like arc and the fall and the speed of the fall. Like 2 weeks ago,
my friend,
like on November 1st, okay, he was worth $30 billion and owned 90% of like, you know, the second biggest crypto exchange in the world. And was like the darling, you know, he was on all the covers of magazines. This guy's in the next, literally like
boy,
next Mark Zuckerberg, whatever, like, you know, next Warren Buffett, all that shit. And then 2 weeks later, all gone.
Sam Bankman greed.
Yeah, and I will say, shout out to, because the more I read about it, the more it's just like the dude from Binance, like he played this pretty impressively. Like
okay,
he
tell me
did
that.
this. He did this, okay? Like this whole thing could have been avoided.
What did he do?
So, okay, so here's for people who don't know, the short of it is, so CoinDesk, which is like this cryptocurrency like website or whatever, blog, they come out with this. They go like, we've had someone provided us with Alameda. So there's FTX, there's Alameda Research. Alameda Research was Sam Bankman-Fried's hedge fund, and then FTX was the crypto exchange. He owned both basically, but he said that they were separate entities and
so
they were
I know all
non-involved.
that,
but that was a
yeah.
lie. Okay, that turned out to be a lie. But anyways, so they come out and CoinDesk is like Alameda Research. We got to look at their balance sheet or whatever, and they're like they have, you know, $9 billion of assets, or like $9 billion of you know, $8 billion of liabilities, $9 billion of assets. So they're not bankrupt or anything, but those assets are in these like super illiquid, their own tokens that they made up.
We have $9 billion in Ryan coin.
Literally, like it was FTT, Serum, and Maps or something was the other one, right? But so they have these coins, but you're like, if people don't trust FTX as an entity, those are zeros. They're all zeros, right? Instantly. They're like, and so anyways, so then Sam Bankman-Fried, CZ from Binance is very against like over-regulation for crypto, right? Sam Bankman-Fried has been spending all his money trying to get it super regulated.
Why?
All in Washington, because he wants to basically get
regulate out the competition.
Yes, he wanted to get to write the rules. And CZ was the first investor in FTX, right? So they used to be friends. And CZ invested in FTX. So CZ held like $550 million of this FTT token. So then he finds out about this. He's also like not happy about the shit that Sam Bankman-Fried's doing in America. And then he goes and he tweets. He goes, after learning about this stuff, I'm basically going to market sell my $550 million in FTT. Like I'm just going to dump it. I want to be out of the FTX game because this is concerning, right? And then Caroline, the chick, she comes out and she's like, hey, like no need to screw over like the FTT holders or whatever, because knowing that like just that amount of selling would tank the price. She's like, we'll just go OTC, which is like over the counter off the exchange. We'll just buy all your FTT from you for $22 each.
And he's like, that's sketchy. What
no, he goes, no. He's like, I'd just rather do this.
Okay.
Knowing
that it's going to kill
this
them.
is going to destroy the whole thing.
Oh.
He could have just taken literally he could have been like, okay, I'll take the $22. Got way more than he ended up getting, I'm sure.
But he knew that once he dumped all this, it was going to put strain on the thing.
He knew all the like connected parts. So he goes, once I do this, and the fact that I decline it, once that $22 level breaks, he's like, the whole thing's going to fall apart, because then all their collateral that they say is worth $9 billion or $8 billion against their, like all their collateral that they're saying is worth $9 billion is going to go to $2 billion, and they're going to be insolvent. And then him doing this caused all these people to start withdrawing their money. So they had like $5 billion of withdrawals in 2 days.
Woo!
And they couldn't cover it. And then the whole thing just fell apart. All of it, just like that. But he did it. Like he could have totally not done it and let them keep running their little Ponzi scheme.
Uh-huh.
But he was like,
he doesn't like this guy got too.
Not only that, he fucking goes, in the interest of like saving crypto, he's like, I'm going to buy FTX. We've agreed a non-binding offer to buy FTX. So then everybody's like, oh, okay, it's not so bad. And then the next day he's like, we're not doing it.
I remember that too.
Yeah, he goes, we looked at it and it can't be saved. We're not doing it, which he's right. But I think he's just like, we're just literally just going to find our biggest competitor. And he's like, I can just crush them.
Yeah, and then we
with
have
a tweet.
We have a chat group with Balaji, and he was sort of saying, because all these other people are sort of saying what Sam Bankman-Fried was, oh, the government needs to get in and regulate, and he was like, no, you don't. It's kind of like when people complain when the government bails out the banks. He goes, yeah, this is what it looks like when they didn't.
Yes.
Which is better. Yeah, there's a lot of pain, but it's like that's part of the game
For sure.
of deregulation. And also he goes, what he did was illegal. You don't need new laws. He already did what he did is illegal with the laws now.
Yeah, and again, it's like
It's like saying when someone kills someone, it's like when someone shoots someone and they're like, we need stricter murder laws, and you're like, there already was, I guess.
Yeah, and not only that, like all of the government, like tons of people in the government have been calling for regulation in crypto because at the end of the day, like there is no insurance on your money. Like it's not a bank. And again, banks, it's rare, but banks can go under.
But now people will know, like you got to have your money in different exchanges. You can't just have all your money in one place.
You don't have any protection in any exchange.
No, but I'm saying, for example,
Yeah.
if you had your money in 8 exchanges,
I mean, technically, you're
they
only
would just be a risk.
Even for like just regular non-crypto people, like you're only covered for $250,000 by your regular bank. So you're like, theoretically, if you have more than $250,000, they should be all in different accounts.
Okay.
Because technically, if one of those banks goes under, then you're not covered.
So there you go.
Like you're covered up to $250,000, but if you have more than that, then all of that extra money's
also
gone.
Tom Brady and Giselle allegedly broke up over losing a lot of their crypto,
Yeah.
which is probably not true. But
No. Well, they didn't lose crypto. They were apparently, and that was another shady thing, is they were tricking all these people into like investing in FTX. Like apparently Tom Brady and Giselle, they were like, we'll give you a deal on equity if you want to buy right now, and everybody was like, we'd be stupid not to. So then all these people, man, it's crazy.
And all the people that worked there were getting paid in fucking fake tokens too.
Yeah, they're getting paid in that. They're getting paid in equity, but like it was.
That's like if we hired everyone and paid them in like Boyscast tokens that were basically, we knew that they were worth zero because we were diluting them every day.
Yeah, but I mean, at least like there was some like value in them 2 weeks ago. But it's just CZ caused a run on the bank. He just knew how to do it, and he caused a run on the bank, and then because they were like just didn't.
And then the text message got leaked of this guy's buddy was basically had text with him. He's like, "Yeah, you know how it is. We got to pretend
It's with
we're
this
doing
reporter.
we have to pretend we're doing all the woke shit.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. Like that's the game. It sucks that it's like that."
And in that thing, he still was saying that he's like, you guys like, I have 2 weeks to turn it around, and that's what FTX was like. He's not in the company anymore. Like in that text exchange, it was with this reporter from Vox or something that he knew, and she's like, he's saying to her, he's like, yeah, we have 2 weeks I still have 2 weeks where I can maybe like save my life kind of thing, and then FTX is like, he's not involved.
And yeah, and also. With the New York Times apparently did like a big puff piece.
And Washington Post.
Because why did they do why did the New York Times do a puff piece on him?
I mean, that's what a lot of people would like to know, and they're not exactly the paper of record, I guess. I don't know. They're like probably they're friends with him, maybe donations. He's a liberal.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know, but like they didn't mention fraud. They didn't mention the fact that like literally, it must be millions of people are affected by this.
And a lot of the people in the Democratic Party were just like, we just lost like so much money that was coming
for sure.
in.
Although I will say, so Martin Shkreli, who was on the show, he called into Low Value Mail on Tuesday, and he said, he's like, I know how this lobbying stuff works. He's like, man, they don't care if you show up to Washington with $40 million 1 year. He's like, you got to be in there for 20 years to be able to really do shit. He's like, to just be able to show up with like a chunk of money and think you're just going to get laws passed.
You got to
like
be
that.
in the game for a
He's
while.
like, you got to be in the game for a while because they need to know that you're like reliable in that sense where like you can come back every year kind of thing. So and again, I don't know anything about the lobbying game. That's just what Martin said, but he was like, yeah, he's like, I don't think that did much.